We've got breaking news as the New York Knicks have re-signed Precious Achiuwa in NBA free agency. We've been following this storyline on this channel for quite some time. We know that the New York Knicks were thinking and talking about with other teams when it comes to including Precious Achiuwa in a potential sign-and trade. But Achiuwa, the big sneeze, puts pen to paper to return to Madison Square Garden with New York across his chest. And I love this move, and it was a bargain of a move as well. Adrian Wojnarowski was the one that broke the news, and in his first tweet, he didn't list the contract that Achiuwa was going to resign. I looked over to the people in the office here at Chat Sports, and I was like, what kind of money? What type of deal? What is the contract going to look like for Achiuwa? I heard all different types of answers from different people that cover the NBA here, and no one said a one-year, $6 million deal. This is a steal for the New York Knicks, and they still have their taxpayer mid-level exception, and we're going to talk about why they had that in a second. And also, Precious Achiuwa, did he waive a new no-trade clause? Lot to talk about, but show the big sneeze some love, man. I didn't know what the New York Knicks were getting when they ended up trading for OG Anunoby, and it seemed like Achiuwa was a throw-in at the time. But fast forward 6, 7, 8 months later, it was a hell of a move. There was talks by some people that had a widow's peak on YouTube that maybe he was the third best player in that trade with OG Anunoby, Emmanuel Quickley, and RJ Barrett. Not sure if that's true, but if you are hyped that the big sneeze is back in the Big Apple, type those fives. This was a no-brainer for the New York Knicks. I never had a doubt when it came to A, Precious Achiuwa being re-signed by the Knicks, or B, Precious Achiuwa being involved in a sign-and trade to help the Knicks. One way or another, Achiuwa was going to come to an agreement with the Knicks to play for their team or be included in a sign-and trade, and that's why it took so long, but I'm actually really excited that he is back. He's a young player, still under 25 years old, and he's got just that dog in him, man. He's a native New Yorker. He plays with some swag, and I think he's someone that the New York Knicks absolutely had to bring back. You look at what he did last year playing for the Raptors at the start of the year, then closing the season with the New York Knicks. He played in 74 games. He's also played in 73 games and 61 games in 3 of the 4 years. So he's available, and that's always a great ability to have. But he was productive as well with the New York Knicks and as well last year. Almost 8 points per game, giving you nearly 7 bounds as well. And at 6'8", he's someone that could protect the rim as well. Giving you almost a block per night. And he's someone on offense that's got a little bit more skill than you would anticipate. And with the way that the Knicks are stacking up their center position with Isaiah Hartenstein leaving in free agency, the Knicks, they needed to bring back Precious Achiuwa. He will be the insurance for Mitchell Robinson. We know Robinson is a good player, and what he does impacts winning directly. He is someone that protects the rim at a high rate. He's a great offensive rebounder, but it's his durability and his ability to consistently play in ball games that is hurting him from reaching his potential. Just one time in the last 4 years as he played more than 60 games. And that's a problem. And with the injury concerns to him, you had to get a backup center that at least can produce in a spot where they need to be a starter. And Achiuwa, he had to do that last year 18 different times for the New York Knicks, and he blew my expectations out of the water. He was great in those starts for the Knicks. 18 different times. In those 18 starts, he averaged nearly 13 points per game and 10 boards. He's giving you 13 and 10 as a spot starter, mainly at the power forward position. And I wonder if he can be a long-term backup center, just 6'8". But he was the best guy left in free agency, and he's absolutely going to help this team. And he fits the mold in the DNA as well. 3.8 offensive rebounds. Going to protect the rim, 1.8 blocks, and 1.1 steals as well. The New York Knicks come to an agreement with Achiuwa, and he'll be back on this team. We're going to talk about his contract and what happened there and why a trade could still be coming. Going to take some time to make that happen in December. But this is why you subscribe to the channel. When the Knicks make a move, we make a video. So if you love the Knicks and you want the best channel on YouTube giving you your Knicks news and rumors, hit that subscribe button right now. Fred Katz of The Athletic, shout out to him, tweeted this out. And I didn't know about this, so I learned some today, and I hope everyone else can learn some today. Fred Katz with this. Precious Achiuwa has waived his bird veto. He had bird rights, meaning the Knicks could go over the salary cap to re-sign him. Normally, a player of Achiuwa's type who re-signs on a one-year contract receives the right to veto any deal. But since Achiuwa waived his, he can be traded without the ability to veto the deal. So that means Precious Achiuwa has waived his no-trade clause, which means this, one of two things. One, I don't think it's 100% certain that Achiuwa is going to end this upcoming season as a Knick. He has $6 million in salary. You could pair that up with maybe your non-taxpayer, your taxpayer mid-level exception of $5.2 million. And then you pretty much have two players that come to a total of almost $12 million that you could trade for another player. They can sign someone on that taxpayer mid-level exception and pretty much make him a human trade exception. Something to keep your eye on in the future. But look, I'm hyped about Precious Achiuwa being back with the New York Knicks. This is a move that I'm a big fan of. I think that his play did the talking for him, and he got a good little payday because of it as well. 1 year, $6 million. I don't think it's an overpay. I think it's actually a steal of a deal, and he's going to be able to produce and maybe even has to be a little bit more of a player in the rotation, especially if injuries continue to happen to Mitchell Robinson in that center position. What's there to like about Achiuwa? We'll roll through these quickly. He competes and he plays hard. There was never really a time when I would watch Achiuwa play and be like, he's not playing hard. He's not trying. He's tough. He's physical. He's not scared. He doesn't back down. Yeah, he's only 6'8", but he's going to compete and he's going to give you everything he got. I love what he could do on the offensive end. I know he's not a guy that's extremely skilled. He can make some threes, doesn't do it at a high clip. He's nice in the dribble handoff game, and he's someone that's a good cutter. But the thing that impresses me the most about him, which I think he's going to continue to get better at, is attacking closeouts off the dribble. When he was playing that power forward position with Hartenstein, he would sometimes camp out in that short corner, and the Knicks would kick it to him, and he'd be closed out on. He'd pump fake, put on the deck one time, get to the rim, and have an either strong finish or a finesse finish and be creative with those two different kind of finishes. He's also going to bring it defensively. How many times did we see him come from that weak side block and challenge a shot at the rim? What about Game 4 against the Philadelphia 76ers? Mitchell Robinson did not play. Isaiah Hartenstein was, I believe, in foul trouble or struggling. The Knicks closed with Achiuwa at the 5 and OG Anunoby at the 4. And yes, it was OG initially guarding Embiid in that fourth quarter, but Achiuwa was there too. He did a good, solid job on him as well. And I actually think he's a very, very underrated shot blocker. I think he sees the play happen really well on the defensive end. He's just got good overall defensive instincts. He also gives the Knicks lineup versatility. Is he an ideal backup center at 6'8", 6'9"? No. But you can also play him at the 4, and you're a really big team as well, and you can crash the glass. But I like the lineup of him at the 5, and OG Anunoby at the 4. They've got good chemistry together. They play off of each other really well, and you can tell that they have spent time together with the Toronto Raptors in their NBA career, getting ready to rock and roll for really the rest of their careers. And the fact they continue to do that and play together is awesome. You look at now this overall roster for the New York Knicks. You're going to have your starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. But now you get more of a clear look at your backups and your bench pieces. Yes, the Knicks signed campaign. They also have Tyler Cook. You have Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench. Still Deuce McBride there as well. You got Josh Hart, Keita Bates-Diop, Precious Achiuwa, and Jericho Sims as your backup 5. With more than almost 11 players, 12 players, it looks like that could potentially play minutes sometimes. Grade the Knicks roster for me. Get out your red pen and be faux real. A, B, C, D, or F. I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know. I'll be honest. I think the Knicks are going to win the East. This says the Knicks can win the East. I think they are going to win the East. I'm not scared of Boston. Never would. Never could. F. Tyler Smith. I think another trade could be coming down the line. Not worried about that right now, but I like where the Knicks are at in their roster right now. And you just got so many different pieces that can affect the game. And when you talk about Jalen Brunson and the leadership and the community that the Knicks have and just the togetherness, man, I loved this team. It was great. And look, the Knicks will win the East. Shout out to producer Reed. Seeps, he could never. But no, I just want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in today, man. Video number 2 of the day. I've been out of town, was on a bachelor trip. with Mitchell Rentz, who works here at Chat Sports since last Thursday. I'm ready to be back, though, and cover this team and keep you guys up to date. You could do that as well by following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks.